Hello everyone, and welcome back for your final day of this 7-day yoga challenge. Today we're going to be going through a full body yoga flow, and then we'll be slowing it down at the end to help our bodies recover. So I hope you enjoyed this challenge. If you did, please subscribe, and I'm definitely going to be doing another one of these in the future. I have so much fun creating them for you guys and following along on all your journeys. So let's start in a standing position today. Bring your feet right underneath your hips and really press all 4 points of your feet into the ground, and then lifting up through the crown of your head. Chest is lifted, shoulders are down and relaxed, keeping that belly pulled up and in. Palms are facing the front. You can have your eyes open or closed, whatever feels best for you. We're just gonna take a moment to connect with ourselves here, bringing our minds here to the mat with our bodies, checking in with ourselves, just noticing how we're feeling. Notice if you're swaying side to side or if you're really still today. Just these subtle noticing in our bodies. And then you can open up your eyes, taking an inhale, reaching your arms high over your head. From here, grabbing your right wrist with your left fingertips, reach those hands high, and then bending over to the left side, opening up through the chest. So draw those arms back, baby gaze underneath the right arm. Both feet are grounded, evenly spread the weight through both feet. Taking another inhale here. Exhale, draw yourself back through center. Switching hands, grab the left wrist with the right fingertips, reaching up and then bending over from the hips, opening up through the chest, stretching out our left side body. And then inhale and come back through center. Exhale, let your hands come down to the side. Open up your feet just a little bit wider than hip width distance. Take an inhale, reach your arms high. On your exhale, bring your hands through heart center as you lower your hips down into yogi squat. Taking an inhale, press the knees away with your hands, lifting up through the crown of your head. And then exhale, lift your hips, come to a forward fold. Inhale draws you back all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands come through heart center, lower those hips back to yogi squat. Taking an inhale here, reach the crown of the head high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms reach high. Exhale, hands come through heart center, lower down, yogi squat. Press the palms together, knees come out wide. Let's take a few seconds here, maybe finding some movement, rocking our hips from side to side, or maybe just staying in stillness, lifting up nice and tall through that spine. Let's take one more breath here. And then on your exhale, come back to your forward fold. Heel toe the feet back underneath your hips. And then just really let the body go here, maybe grabbing opposite elbow. Letting the upper body be heavy, neck and head are heavy. Weight is in the front of our feet. Tapping into our breath here, so starting to turn to our Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through the nose. And then from here, releasing your hands down to the ground. Taking an inhale, find your halfway lift, flat back. Crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone sends to the back of the room. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way back up to standing. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center. From here, inhale, hands come back. Come up high onto those tiptoes, right underneath your hips, lifting the heels nice and high. On your exhale, bending at your knees, start to bring your hips down towards your heels. Nice and steady with control, keeping the upper body lifted. And then slowly, when your hips touch your heels, drop the knees to the ground. And then just come to sit back on your heels. You can bring your arms down by your side. Maybe bringing one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, stretching out through our feet, lengthening up through our spine. Let's take one breath together here as we start our practice. Taking an inhale, nice and smooth and slow through the nose, send it to the belly, filling up the belly first. Taking another inhale, Breathing further into the chest. And then exhale to let it all go. Bring your hands in front of you, untuck the toes, and just pat out the feet to release that toe stretch. And then come to sit on your heels again. From here, bring your right hand to the back of right behind your right hip. And then on your inhale, lifting up through the arms, lift the hips, open up through the chest. Maybe gaze drops back. Core is engaged here. Exhale, hips drop down. Bringing your left hand behind your left hip. Inhale, right arm reaches high, lifts, hips lift. Opening up through that chest. And then exhale to lower back down. Bring your hands out in front of you. Find your way into a neutral tabletop position. Fingers are spread nice and wide here. Finding that alignment with your spine, one straight line here. And then feeling that connection between your hands, your knees, the tops of your feet, and the ground. Really pressing them all into the ground. Finding a nice stable position here. On your inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale, round through your spine, chin to chest. Inhale, belly drops, gazing up. Exhale, round through your spine. Inhale, belly drops, chest lifts. Exhale to round through the spine. And then coming back through center, send your hips to the right as you gaze over that right shoulder. Stretching out through the left side body. And then draw yourself back through center. Hips send over to the left, gaze over that left shoulder. And then draw back through center. Take a few circles, draw some circles with your tailbone. Maybe adding some movement with the neck and head. Breathing here. And then come back to find neutral tabletop. Send the left arm out in front of you, right leg reaches behind you. One straight line from your fingertips to your toes, really reaching them far apart. Taking an inhale here, exhale, hug knee to elbow, round your spine. Inhale to reach, exhale, hug in. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, hug in, round the spine. Inhale to lengthen. Stay here, maybe reach around, grabbing for that foot for a bind. Press the foot into the hand to lift everything up. And then exhale, release it down, find your tabletop. Shake it out. Getting ready for the other side. So right arm sends out in front of you, left leg sends behind you. One long line here. Taking an inhale to reach. Exhale, hug knee to elbow. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, hug in, chin to chest. Inhale to reach. Exhale, hug everything in. Inhale to lengthen, stay here. Or maybe reach around for that foot, grabbing for a bind. Opening up through the chest as we lift. Beautiful, and then release, come back to tabletop. Take a few cat-cows here, just shaking it out. And then from here, tucking your toes underneath, lifting your knees up off the ground, back into that hover tabletop position. So activating through the core, shoulders are right over wrists, pressing into all 10 knuckles. From here, just gonna lift your right leg off the mat, bringing it hip height, reaching through those toes. And then bring the toes back down to the ground, hover tabletop. Left leg lifts, send those toes back, reach through the crown of your head. And then left toes step back, right leg reaches behind you. And then set it back down, hover tabletop, left leg sends behind you. And then back to that hover tabletop, holding here, pressing into the mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, lift your hips high, find your downward facing dog. Making sure the fingers are spread nice and wide, pressing into the mat, externally rotating those upper arms. Sending the hips nice and high. Maybe begin to walk out your dog, bending into one knee and then the other. Returning to your breath here. Just finding movement that feels good today. Really letting the neck go. And then let's go ahead and find some stillness here. Gaze in between your toes to keep your focus. Taking another deep inhale here. On your exhale, bending at your knees, gaze to the top of the mat, step or walk, find your forward fold. Inhale, come into a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms reach high. Exhale, straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, another halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back for your high plank. Holding here, and then shifting the weight forward, lowering for your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. On your inhale, reach your right leg high to the sky. Exhale, hug in the knees, step the foot through your hands. Stay on the ball of that back foot. Inhale to lift up for crescent lunge. Exhale, draw your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, press the palms away from you, open up through your chest. On your exhale, hinging from the hips, just letting your chest come down on the inside of that leg, resting in a variation of humble warrior. So drawing those arms up over your head, staying lifted on those back toes. Beautiful, and then releasing through your hands, plant the left hand down. You're just gonna use your core strength and your leg strength to step that right foot back, finding your side plank on the left side. Lifting up through those hips, stacking the shoulders, reaching those right fingertips high. Always option to drop that bottom knee or play around with the top leg. And then finding your high plank. Lowering through chaturanga, option to drop the knees. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, left leg lifts high to the sky. Exhale, hug in the knee to your chest, step it through, finding your crescent lunge. Inhale to lift up, sink those hips high, low, reach the fingertips high. Dropping the hands down, reaching them behind your back, interlace the hands. Inhale to lift up through the chest, draw those arms down. Exhale, folding from the hips, lowering into humble warrior, just letting your chest come to the inside of that leg, relaxing the head, drawing those arms up over your head. Pressing into both feet, hugging the thighs in toward one another. Taking another inhale here. And then from here, you're gonna drop your right hand to the ground. Send the left foot to the right foot, opening up for side plank on the right. Lifting the hips high, stacking the hips and shoulders. Maybe dropping that arm overhead, finding your variation. And then bring it around, high plank. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, bring it back, downward facing dog. Sighing it out here. Returning back to your breath. On your next inhale, lift your right leg high. On your exhale, you're gonna shift your weight forward into a high plank position with that right leg lifted. From here, you're gonna lower down into chaturanga, leg stays lifted, and then inhale, drop the foot, lift the chest for upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts high. Exhale, shift the weight forward to high plank, lifting that left leg. From here, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, drop the foot, lift the chest, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. From here, bending at the knees, gaze to the top of your mat, step or hop forward, find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands through heart center. Take a moment here to ground your feet, lifting through the crown of your head. Find your breath. And then take another deep inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank, flow through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg back to the sky, this time rolling open at the hip. Right knee reaches high, right heel comes to the glute. And then bring it back around, hug that knee into your chest, step the foot through, staying lifted on the ball of that back foot. Inhale up, find your crescent lunge again. Breathing here, sink the hips nice and low. From here, you're gonna pull that left knee in towards your chest as you step up onto this right leg. Beautiful, hands come down by your side. From here, take that left ankle, place it on your right thigh, and then sink the hips as you send the arms out in front of you. Beautiful, opening up through the left hip, keeping your arms out in front of you, or maybe bringing your hands through heart center. See if you can sink a little deeper here, keeping the chest lifted. Beautiful, and then coming back to standing, just take that left foot, bring it to the inside of your thigh, finding your tree pose. So finding your balance, gazing on one point. Beautiful, and then releasing this, shaking it out, finding the top of your mat. Inhaling inhaling your arms high. Exhale through forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling that left leg high. Exhale to roll, open up that hip. Knee reaches high, both hands evenly pressed into the mat. And then bring it around, hug that knee in, step the foot through, ball of the back toes, inhale up for crescent lunge. Reaching the fingertips high, relax through those shoulders. Belly pulls up and in, shoulders stacked right over hips. Breathing here, sink a little deeper. And then from here, stepping that right foot in, bring it to your chest, hands come down. From here, right ankle comes on top of left thigh, sink the hips, send the arms out in front of you. Beautiful, maybe bring the hands through heart center, see if you can sink a little deeper, opening up through that right hip, keeping the chest lifted, finding your balance, and then lifting back up, bringing that right foot to the inside of the left thigh, hands through heart center, taking a moment here to reconnect with your breath, focusing on one point. And then releasing this, shaking it out, finding the top of your mat again. From here, bring the toes to touch. You're gonna sink your hips down into chair pose, reaching those arms high, lifting up through the chest. And then bring those hands through heart center. Hook the left elbow outside the right knee, press into the hands to open up for a twist. Sink the hips nice and low. Option to open up those arms. And then another option is to come to play in side crow. So for side crow, if you want to go there, sink your hips a little lower to bring your hands down to the ground, right outside the right leg. And then shifting your shoulders over those wrists. And then maybe playing around with lifting one toe and then the other. And then maybe flying, maybe bringing a pillow underneath your face, really pressing into those hands, squeezing everything to the center. Taking one more breath here in twisted chair. And then exhale, come to a forward fold. From here, bring your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes, bending at your knees, and then pulling your upper body down towards your legs with those arms. So letting the elbows fall out wide. Bending your knees as much as you need to get your chest to connect to your thighs. Breathing here. Sending the breath to the back body. And then releasing the fingers, inhaling halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands come through heart center. Toes to touch, sink those hips back into chair pose. Lifting up through the chest. Bring your hands through heart center, right elbow hooks outside of left knee, press into those hands, opening up the chest. Make sure the knees stay in line with one another. Option to stay here, maybe opening the arms, maybe playing with side curl on the left side. Staying focused on one point, being present in your body. Beautiful. Let's take one more breath here. Exhale, find your forward fold. This time, lifting your toes, send the hands underneath your feet, stepping on the palms of your hands so the toes touch the wrists. Bending your knees as much as you need to here. And then just finding this release. Feeling your feet on your hands. Maybe trying to straighten out those legs, sending the hips high. And then releasing the hands from the feet. Inhale into a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, straight back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift again. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, high plank. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, just drop your knees to the edges of your mat. Bring your toes to touch, sink the hips towards the heels, resting into child's pose. Just taking a few breaths here. Checking in with yourself, digging deep to find that strength. And then from here, just walking your hands back up. You're gonna come to sit on your glutes, send the legs out in front of you. From here, you're gonna bending at the right knee, place the right foot on the ground, sitting up nice and tall through the crown of your head. And then either wrapping your arms around this leg or maybe reaching the right arm to the inside of the leg, reaching around, left hand comes behind your back for a bind. From here, try to shift those shoulders to face the ground, come to a forward fold. Keep on pressing into that right foot. And just breathe here. And then coming back up through center, take this right foot, cross it over the left, taking an inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. And then slowly roll yourself back up through center, uncross the legs, and then take that left foot to the inside of that right thigh, pressing that foot down. Option to hug the leg just like this, or maybe reach around for a bind. Right arm reaches behind your back, trying to connect those hands, and then shifting your torso to come over that right leg. Breathing here. And then releasing the spine, coming back up to a seated position. Take the left foot, cross it on top of the right. Taking an inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, come to a forward fold. Just allowing your body to rest wherever it falls. Keep on reaching the crown of the head forward. And then rolling yourself back up to a seated position, uncross the toes. From here, you're gonna roll yourself all the way down onto your backs, bringing your knees into your chest, giving yourself a little squeeze. And then setting the feet back down on the ground, setting up for a bridge pose. So bring the heels close to your hips, making sure you can touch them, hip width distance apart. And then on your inhale, press into those legs, lift the hips nice and high, maybe interlacing the hands, walk those shoulders underneath. Keep the thighs hugged in toward one another. Keep on pressing into the legs to lift up your chest. Taking one more breath here. On your exhale, come all the way down, knees come back into chest. Maybe rock it side to side. Feet come back down to the ground. You can come back into that bridge pose, or if you would like, I'm going to lead you through wheel pose for our final bridge/wheel position. So if you're going to wheel, bringing your hands right outside your ears, fingertips pointing towards your body. Hug the elbows in towards your body. And then on your inhale, press into the feet, press into the hands to lift up through your hips. Maybe try walking the fingertips back towards your body. You can lift up onto the toes if that feels good. Pressing through the arms, try to straighten them, lifting up through the hips. Keep that core engaged, hug the thighs in toward one another. Taking one more breath here. And then exhale, tuck your chin, lower down nice and slow. Bring your knees back into your chest, maybe rolling out the ankle or the wrists. Return back to your breath. Beautiful work, everybody. From here, reach your arms through your legs, grabbing the outer edges of your feet, opening the legs wide for happy baby. So lots of options here. You can keep on grabbing the outside of the feet. Maybe bring the grip to the inside of your feet, noticing the difference there. Maybe grabbing the ankles or the shins. Lots of options. You can sway from side to side or stay still. Just wherever you are, relaxing through the upper body, returning to your breath. Let's take one more breath here. And then releasing the feet, bring the knees back into your chest, giving yourself a squeeze. From here, reach the feet up towards the sky. Wrap the right leg on top of the left, bending at the knees, and then reaching down to grab either your shins, your ankles, or your feet, pulling those heels in towards your outer hips. Upper body is nice and relaxed here, just breathing into those hips. Opening up through our body. Releasing the hands, letting the knees fall over to the left side. Right arm opens up, gazing over to those right fingertips for your supine twist. Just becoming nice and still here, letting gravity do the work. Just allowing your muscles to relax so that they can open up. And bringing those knees back into your chest, uncross the legs, send the legs back up towards the sky. Left leg comes on top of right. Bending at the knees, hug the thighs in toward one another, and then reach down, grabbing anywhere on your leg, your ankles, or your feet, pulling those heels in towards your outer hips. And then returning back to your breath. From here, releasing the hands, send the knees over to the right, opening up the left arm, gazing over to those left fingertips, finding your supine twist. Both shoulders on the ground. Stilling the mind, stilling the body. bringing those knees back into your chest, uncross your legs. Bring your knees back into your chest, and then from here, just lift your neck, head, and shoulders, wrapping your arms all the way around your legs, squeezing everything into one little ball here. Contracting through all of your muscles, squeezing nice and tight into the midline. Taking a deep inhale, squeezing as tight as you can go. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then exhale, release everything down to the ground. Find your Shavasana pose. Making any small adjustments in your body you need to get comfortable here so that you can find stillness. Relaxing through all of your muscles from the crown of your head all the way down to your toes. Just feeling every muscle soften and melt into the ground. Feeling your heavy body supported by the ground. Just let your breath return back to its natural rhythm. Still keep your attention there so that your mind stays present. Enjoying some stillness before you head back into the world. Just enjoying this time with yourself. And start to bring some gentle movement back into your body. Maybe reaching the arms over your head for a full body stretch. And then making your way to your favorite side. Bring those knees up towards your chest. Head rests on your arm or maybe the ground. Just taking this moment to honor growth in every moment. And when you're ready, you can make your way back into a seated position. Try to keep your eyes closed. And then bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Keep on reaching the crown of the head high. Let's take one final breath together. Taking a deep inhale through the nose, send the breath to the belly. Breathing further air into the chest. And then on your exhale, sighing it out, letting everything go. Thanking yourself for showing up, putting in the hard work, making your body feel so good and loved. Bringing your palms together, bringing your thumb knuckles up to your forehead center. The light and strength in me honors the light and strength of all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. I loved hearing all of your great feedback. Please let me know what you would like to see in the future. Subscribe to my channel. I would so appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. Have a beautiful day, everybody.